Hey folks, and welcome back to Pattaya. We are at Bira Circuit today, right outside of Pattaya. We've been here before, we'll probably be here again. There's a host of events that happen out here, but today we're here to test ride Honda's new, let's call it an E-clutch, but what I'm calling it is kind of a performance version of Twist and Go. I'll explain, here in Thailand, bikes are used by almost everybody for basic transportation. It's not, a country ride with your buddies on the weekend, or maybe a ride with your local MC. It's transportation, it's getting from point A to point B. It's going out to get the loaf of bread around the corner, etc. And for that reason, Twist and Go is very popular. There are many Twist and Go options here, most of which fall into the category of being a scooter. Honda makes many of those. They have no gears, they have no clutch. You throw your leg over, turn it on, twist and go. And for those conveniences, also they're very small, they're very lightweight, they're very easy to get through traffic in. For those reasons, they're very popular here. But the sacrifice there is very limited, if any, performance. What is an E-clutch? I mean, when I hear that, it creates so many more questions than it gives answers. I just have a plethora of questions that come to mind. You probably do too. We'll talk about what it is, what the benefits are, how much it costs, and I will actually give the thing a ride, and we'll come back for some impressions. But first, let's start by what it isn't, what an E-clutch is not first. It is not a pure twist and go like a scooter. It has a proper 6-speed gearbox. It even has a real proper clutch. There's no difference there. You can use the clutch if you want, or you can let the little man inside, the little machine, use the clutch for you. That's kind of what it is. It is also not a DCT transmission. Honda's been on the forefront of some very creative drivetrains, with the 6-speed DCT found in the NC750, the ADV 750, and of course the venerable Africa Twin 1100. Those are proper 6-speed gearbox. It's tantamount to being an automatic car. Put it in drive and go, and the thing will shift gears as needed, upshift, downshift. They have a manual button for those, but you can just leave the thing in drive, and it's just like putting an automatic car in drive. I rode one of those a couple years ago, and that's the best way to describe it. Now, as nice as those are, and they do, especially that 1100 Africa Twin offers some good performance, but as cool as that is, to facilitate all that, the engines are kind of, detuned. The things, even the Africa Twin makes in the neighborhood of 90 horsepower, I believe, but all the power's like before 6,000, 6,500 RPM. It's very low in the power rev range. It's all grunt, where the bike we're going to ride today redlines at 12,000 RPMs. Now, something else it is not. It is not a quick shifter. You've probably heard of quick shifters. That's either standard or optional on a lot of performance bikes. And a quick shifter kind of, retards the engine power just for a millisecond while you're shifting, and it's almost seamless. It's like an instant shift. It's like an F1 car going from one gear to the next. Now, they are notorious for being clunky at lower speeds and downshifts. And the reason for that, quite simply, it's a performance option. It's made for all-out performance. So when you're on that throttle, going around a track like we're at today, or maybe just out on the highway grabbing a handful, those shifts with the quick shifter are just, they're exhilarating. I love them. I love them to death. It's just instant into the gear. That's not really what this is. Remember, this is a little robot inside working the clutch. Now, I'll show you real quick kind of how it works. There's 2 electric motors in there, and a couple gears and cogs, and somehow through the magic of technology, that actually works the clutch for you. So what I mean by that, supposedly, and I haven't ridden it yet, but we will in a minute, supposedly you can be tooling down the road 60 miles an hour, and it's time to stop. You got a red light, and you can come to a stop without ever pulling in the clutch, and you can sit at the red light without ever pulling in the clutch. Now, you do need to change gear, so upshift, downshift. It's not automatic like a DCT, but you don't have to pull in the clutch for either of those. In that regard, it's like a quick shifter, but it's more of an actual clutched shift if you were doing it yourself. Although it is probably a little faster than you could do it, because it's done by the little robot with the electric motor. What's that look like from the outside? How does that take away from the appearance of the bike? I don't want some clunky gizmo hanging off the side. I'll show you, it's not bad. Maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 would say, hey, what in the blue blazes is that? But blends in very nicely. It almost looks like it belongs there. So it's not too obtrusive. I don't say it subtracts from the look of the motorcycle too much. You know, these four-cylinder motorcycles, as much as I love them, the wobbly knees of any four-cylinder bike is the low-end power. It makes all its power up top. So it's very easy to forget to change into first gear at a red light and you're up in third or fourth and try to take off. It's just an instant recipe to stall it because there's not enough low-end power. Where this, supposedly you can take off in third gear. We'll try to test that. I don't know how much leeway I'm going to be given here, but apparently you could be in whatever gear and it's not going to stall. It's not supposed to shake and shimmy through a lack of power when you're trying to do a takeoff, things like that. Now, this event that I'm at this weekend here in Bira, I registered for. There was an event a couple of weeks ago up in Khon Kaen, one in Korat, a big one in Buriram, and they did it at the Chang International Speedway where they have MotoGP and all that. Very nice facility. And of course here today we're at Bira. But I'll tell you this, if you're here in Thailand, if you'd like to do what I'm doing today and give this guy a little ride, you can do it. It's free of charge. All you have to do is register. There are still two events, one at the middle of June, around the 15th in Chiang Mai, another at the end of June in Phuket. So unfortunately you've missed the boat if you're here, but there are still some places in Thailand where you might be able to sign up for this and register and come out and see for yourself, because I think seeing is believing. Hopefully we'll get to do that. I've brought my helmet camera and I've got to go in and see the folks here. There's two models. There is the CBR 650 and the CB 650. I've elected to ride the CB 650. I just like the riding position better. Both of these bikes, the pegs are a little too far back for my liking, but the CB 650 does provide a little bit more of an upright standard motorcycle feeling, so I've opted for that one. Both are the same engine and both will have that E-clutch. So how much is it? What's it cost? They have a standard model without the E-clutch, so you don't have to get it. The standard model, I think on the CB 650 is about $312,000, a little over 6,000 US dollars. The E-clutch adds about 20,000 baht, or about 550 US dollars. Who would this be for? Well, one, if you're in a lot of traffic. I think going through traffic, you know, as much as I love a clutch and I think it's half the fun of riding the motorbike, in the traffic it's not so much fun. So being able to just concentrate on traffic, in and out, slow, start, stop with no clutch, I think that might be worth it if you live in that kind of environment. Or maybe you suffer from dexterity in your hands or fingers on your left side. There could be physical, what I'm saying, some kind of little bit of almost a disability, which you can't work a clutch. This might be an answer for that. So, that's just a lot of people like twist and go. They just don't want to mess with a clutch at all. And now a real performance option. And we've never ridden one before here on the channel, but so we're going to do both. And I'll do manual mode and automatic mode, and I will try to put it through its paces, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my impressions. And we'll also look around and see what else is going on out here today. It's always something at Bira. Got a little bit of a class on the thing first. Got to see a presentation. I'll tell you my takeaway from this guy's whole spiel here, and that is just the amount of sensors and data collected by the electronics on this bike, all processed in a millisecond to enable the operation of that clutch, is just amazing. Anyway, it's time to suit up and go for the ride, so yeah, let's enjoy this. I tried my best to break it. I started off in third gear. I upshifted way too early, downshifted way too early. I couldn't get it to fumble. I couldn't get it to stumble. It did very well. We didn't go around Bira. That was a little disappointment, but we went on a very long ride out on 36 on the highway, some back roads. It was a good mix of roads, so it was a very good test ride. I guess maybe taking it on the circuit of Bira is maybe a little bit too much for their insurance. But what a sweet ride, and I purposely did not use the clutch the entire ride. From start to end, probably about a 10-15 minute ride, I did not touch the clutch. I got a free shirt for filling out their questionnaire and doing the test ride today, so I have that. And it was a good day. There's a lot of little other things going on here, Bira today, something with the scooters and exhaust systems, all kind of stuff. But the e-clutch ride was a success, and I tell you, if you're on the fence about it, knowing that you can put it in manual mode and it's not even there, wow, in traffic, pulling up the intersections, starting out, maybe even starting out on hills, etc. Could be a little derpy on hills. If you park on a hill, once you turn it off, it goes into manual mode, so it doesn't roll back. But when you get back on it, you would either have to apply the brake and put it in neutral, or pull in the clutch and put it in neutral and start like you normally would. So if you park on a hill, you could still do it clutchlessly. You would just have to kind of be on the brake while you put the gear selector in neutral. That would get it into automatic mode. Yeah, the clutch has a whole different feel. When it's in automatic mode, it doesn't even feel like a clutch is there. It's real spongy and so much play in it. As soon as it's in manual mode, you get that full grippy clutch. So really neat, really neat. I think these kinds of things, if they're not done right, Honda won't roll it out. They're that kind of company. They have, believe me, they have tested this thing with probably a hell of a lot more ham-handed people than me trying to break it, and here it is on the market. So you can get it right now in Pattaya. They're available. And from Bira, that's all it's going to be.
So there you go. I like events like this. They bring all the safety equipment out there. They even make sure all the participants have a driver's license. So there's that. You have to do that. But we'll say goodbye to Bira. I can't come all the way out here without stopping by for my favorite breakfast at the Route 66 diner here. They're soon to open a new location, so hopefully that'll be coming up on the channel soon. But hope you enjoyed the episode. I've got to go ahead and leave this one off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.